and welcome to our weekly recap. So, welcome back, guys. So first off, I want to start the week by congratulating one of our traders for getting funded with a $200,000 account with Alpha Capital Group. He posted his certificate in our Discord, so join the free Discord and see that for yourself. Congratulations, Blessing is his name. Congratulations, Blessing. Thank you for sharing that with us. He's from Zimbabwe, and now he's in the UK and trading the banana method. And now he is funded with a $200,000 account. Congratulations, Blessing. So to this week, we got the banana indicator on the H1 time frame, and we would have bagged 6R or 6% increase if you use our 1% stop for each trade. So going from Monday, August 7th to Friday, August 11th. This is not financial advice. This is just educational. Any trade you take is on you. We're just looking at the banana entry signals, and we're always going for a 5R, 5-to-1 reward to risk ratio. We're always going for a 5-to-1 reward to risk ratio with a trailing stop loss. So whenever the market gets to 2R or 2-to-1, we move our stop to break even. 3-to-1, we move it up to 1R or 1-to-1. When the market gets to 4R or 4 times our risk, we move the stop to plus 2R or 2-to-1. All right, so getting that out of the way, let us begin taking a look. Starting off this week with the Great British Pound as usual. We were in trading range hell this week. All the markets seem to be stuck in a range, a big trading range, which we can still trade in trading ranges. If we get a signal and it fits all the criteria, it fits the 4 rules and 2 filters, I counted it. So let's see what we got. So 7th, nothing. Let me zoom out a bit so you can see where these areas come from. So yes, even from last week, these areas just continued. So now, like this first trade that appeared here on the Great British Pound, it was right in the middle of this trading range, or your entry would have been right in the middle of this trading range. But, trading in the middle of normally trading in the middle of a range for most of us traders is a bad idea. And usually it is. But that's not part of the 4 rules and 2 filters that the banana indicator has, that we use with the banana indicator. So, to find out what those are, take the banana course. Don't just buy the indicator and not take the course, because that might not be good. So we want to bring up the win ratio, take the banana course with the indicator, so you know the best way to get the highest win ratio with the banana. So if we entered here, this was on the correct side of the 50. The 10 EMA had just crossed the 20. It's a just barely valid trade, but it is a valid trade. So if we would have taken that, market would have went to 3R. We would have moved our stop up to 1R, out at 1R, or 1% increase. All right, not a bad August 8th there. And then we had another one. Again, we got this area down here, and this is just a personal preference, but I add it to my count on how I'm counting these results. If we have 2R if we have 2R until the area, then I'll go ahead and take the trade, because it could still get to 2R and then be a break-even trade. I feel like it's worth the risk for 5R, for the potential of 5R. I feel like it could be worth the risk. So this one right here, this was the evening for me, middle of the night for Europe. But if you would have taken it, in Australia, definitely could have taken it. Would have been morning time, prime time in Australia or East Asia. Would have got filled, went to 1R, and then stopped out. So plus 1R, minus 1R, break even on the Great British Pound this week. The Euro, starting on August 7th, which is right here. Again, we had 2R of the area, so if you would have taken this one, first one wouldn't have got triggered, but then you would have taken that one, you would have got filled there, would have tried to go, and then knocked out overnight, or in the evening for me, for a minus 1R in the Euro, and that's it. Otherwise, as you can see, the Euro also, in this these big trading range that's been here since last week, trading range hell for all the markets this week. It felt like So then we go over to the yen. Now the yen wasn't in a range, so finally we got one market that's not in a big range. So here's another example. So of this one on the 7th, first one would have been triggered, but if you would have taken the second one right here, you would have got filled, order would have been filled, and then stopped out for a -1R. But the bar that would have stopped us out made another signal. So if you would have got stopped out and then re-entered with still, 2R to the area, that would have been 5R. Now that's the middle of the night for Europe and the UK. It's about, that's 7 p.m. over here for me, so I probably wouldn't have been trading at that time. But Australia, that's 7, 8 a.m., 9 a.m. for Australia, East Asia. Could have got that one. So we're putting it in the results. It's a valid trade. Would have been to 5R. And then after here, but then right after that, if you would have got in on the signal right after that, would have been a rent. Would have taken a rent on that one. And then right here, so now this next one, I did go ahead and count it in the results as a rent or a -1R. I mean, there's kind of an area. There's not really an area here at the time that this signal appeared. So that's why I went ahead and taken it. Some of the areas that I have counted in the past maybe look a little bit like this. But I mean, where's the area? Maybe this work right here. And if that's the case, yeah, it's not 2-to-1. So we wouldn't have taken that one. There's 1-2 hits. I could not count that one and make the results look better. But you know what? It's not... Yeah, there's 2 hits, but it's more of just a swing instead of an area. I don't. So I'm going to go ahead and count it anyway. Even though it's kind of an area there. Because I think most people still would not count that as an area. That's why I'm counting it. Because I think most traders would not count that as an area. So we were taking that one. Would have been another rent. So... pretty tough. Another tough week in the yen. But if you got that 5R in the middle of the night or in the evening for me, or Australia totally could have, still be good. And then this one, I did take this one, and this one hurt. This one hurt. I got in it, watched it go, and through the evening time, like, all right, it's trying to go, all right. And then went to bed, woke up next morning, boom, news. News took me out for a -1. And then what happens right after? Goes to 5R. Would have hit 5R today. But that happens sometimes, especially with news. You got to be prepared. Usually I like to move my stop to break even at news. But I got up, I slept. I was asleep at this time. And took a rent. So that's what happens when you trade through news and your stop isn't at break even. So that one hurt. And... But then right after that, if, that rent taken, and then right here, if you would have taken the next signal after that rent, which I was away from the computer at that time, I missed this one. When it went to 3R, and we would have moved our stop to 1R, so that's a +1. One more +1 on the yen this week. So that was a tough one for me. I missed that one. But overall, it's okay. So, again, looking at the DAX, look at this. Trading range, hell, we're in it for the past 2 weeks. And no trade at all on the DAX. We got signals, of course, but they are either not valid or wouldn't have been triggered. Like this one obviously looks wonderful, in hindsight, but we want the 10 EMA to be on the correct side of the 20 EMA. It's trending down. The 50 EMA is going down, so we want the 10 EMA to be on the downside of the 20 EMA. That's why we wouldn't take that. It's not a valid trade for that reason. But otherwise, there's nothing else that would have been triggered or would have been valid. Dow, US Dow, there wasn't anything on the Dow either. Again, as you see, trading range, big trading range. So no trades in the Dow this week, in the US Dow. So there is an area here, and there was a valid signal here that had broken past the area, which we want to see, but this bar, come on, that's what we call a climactic move. We don't want to take a trade right after this ginormous move, because normally, you get the rubber band principle in the markets. If it goes, if it comes back really strong, it could easily snap back really strong too. So with a big move, that's a climactic. That's what we call a climactic move. With a big bar like that, we do not take a trade in that area. Even though it is tempting in the fact, it does look good in the fact that it just broke past the area. There's even a gap, so it's probably going to come down and at least fill this gap for a 1 hour, which it did eventually the next day. But anyway, other than that, with this climactic move, that's a big no. Big no. And then the NASDAQ. So starting from August 7th. Now, this was one here that there was definitely an area, but this signal was 2 to 1 of the area. And this had just been valued. You had to been paying attention for this one. I believe Europe and the UK would have been awake for this one. Yeah, it would have been, this bar would have appeared, or the signal right here would have appeared at 8 a.m. for Europe and 7 a.m. for the UK. So I would still be asleep, but this was a good one for you guys over there. Notice that it had just right when this signal was appeared, and this bar this candle started to make itself. This candle started to form. The 10 EMA had just crossed over the 20 EMA, right in between those two bars. So as this bar is being made, as this bar is being formed, this crossed over the 10 EMA crossed over the 20, and it's on the right side of the 50. We got 2R to the area, take it, 5R, boom, got him. Now this one here, I would have been awake for this one. This one did not have 2R to the area. There wasn't enough space to justify the risk on that one. So I wouldn't have taken that one, and I would have missed out, but that's all right. And that's what we had in the NASDAQ, and that was it. And then we got this, NASDAQ is a bit different from the other markets. It's making little areas, but it's not so much in a range. It's more like a stair-stepping range. It's more like a stair-stepping down in ranges for the NASDAQ this week. And we did have, I do want to talk about this one. We had this last signal here. And then I was like, we had a trader in the Discord take it, even though there was an area right here, but he saw that there were, it's stair-stepping down areas in the NASDAQ, and we're getting consistently lower highs all week, the past couple weeks. So he took this one, thinking it would go down, and it did, but the guy got taken at a break even, unfortunately. Now, he could have, the market did get to 3R, so he could have moved his stop to 1R and gotten 1R out of that. But I believe he was either away from his computer or he was giving it some room. He was just giving it a little more room to work itself out before it went down further, which it very well may do. So, hate when that happens, but he took He took a trade, took the risk and got a break even. So hey, not a loser on that one for our member in the Discord, so that's okay. So that's it, guys. Let me know if you have any questions. Give us a like if you like the video. Join our free Discord and see all our Discord traders' trades and trade ideas that you can see every trading day our traders are posting. Thanks for hanging out with us, and we'll see you next week.